Mute everybody now, just in case anyone pops on with their sound on. And we'll get started. So focusing this week on this concept of managing how much energy we put forth in our lives and in our practice. And really the yoga mat is where we get to practice this moderation of the use of energy. Sanskrit for that is brahmacharya. And as we think about moderating the use of energy, we're thinking about letting our yoga practice in particular be something that we come away from our mat feeling energized, like we have energy from it, as opposed to giving all of our energy to the yoga practice and being exhausted afterwards. So this is this difference between sometimes doing a really intense, deep power practice and doing more of a practice that's allowing ourselves to be built back up energy-wise. So as you tune into your body right now, find your comfortable seat, shift your sitting bones, and just let yourself recognize and notice what is there for you in your body, in your mind for energy. You can let your eyes close here if you would like to. Your breath is your tool to help you sense this energy. So take a slow, soft, but full breath. Let yourself notice any of those places in the body where there is sensation. And let yourself notice what it is that you have for energy right now. Not necessarily the story around it, but the general energies inside. Our prana, life force energy that's always present. Maybe notice, if you're aware of it, how much that is flowing. As you bring your hands to connect at heart center, take a full big breath and let yourself completely fill up. And as you exhale, bow toward your heart, honoring yourself for taking this time to be present with what's there. Then softly opening your eyes and releasing your hands down, let's come right away up to the front of our mats. So you can go ahead and stand right up from here. And from the front of your mat, find your feet set inner hip distance apart and parallel. And then lift and spread your toes and root down with your toes. Reach through your fingertips, lift up and open through your shoulders, and we'll move through a couple of half salutations to help start movement with breath and a little bit of movement and shift of energy. Inhale, stretch up overhead, lift up with your heart and your gaze. Exhale, bend knees, fold over your legs. Inhale, lengthen part way, hands up above your knees, send your sitting bones up and extend forward with your heart. Exhale and fold over your legs. Hands to hips. As you press back on your hips, move your ribs and your chest forward and begin to lift through your chest and rise all the way up. Release your hands down and then inhale, stretch all the way up overhead. Exhale, bend knees, fold over your legs. Inhale, lengthen part way, find that long spine with your sitting bones lifting. Exhale and fold. Bent knees, squeeze your glutes, reach your arms wide this time, start to look up and rise up all the way to stand, arms overhead. Exhale, hands come to your heart. One more this way, inhale, stretch up overhead. Exhale, soft knees, fold over your legs. Inhale, lengthen your spine, front body is long. Exhale and fold. Squeeze glutes, bend your knees, reach arms. Inhale, rise all the way up to stand. Exhale, hands come to your heart. Pause if it's comfortable, you can close your eyes. Just take a moment to notice what it is that's present for sensation and for energy. Inhale, stretch up overhead. Exhale, bend knees, fold over your legs. Feel free to use blocks here if you would like. Inhale, lengthen part way. Exhale and fold. Fingertips plant, you're stepping right foot back into your lunge. Right knee comes down to the ground, center with your hips. Think of wrapping the left hip back in space and then lift up with your torso if that's in your practice. You can always keep hands down. Take a full big deep breath. Exhaling, hands come all the way down to your props. Find whatever you have. If you don't have anything, that's okay too. You can always use a chair or a stool here as well. But we're gonna lift our back knee and work our front leg towards straight. So it's nice to be able to be lifted here through your spine. Move your ribs and your heart more forward and then wrap back with your left hip. Take a full big breath. As you push down with your left big toe, send your sitting bones up. Inhale, bend into your front knee, plant hands and step all the way back into a downward facing dog pose and take a big breath. As you take your big breath, realize that if being in down dog is using a lot of energy, then maybe moderate that a little bit by coming down to your knees. Full deep inhale and exhale in and out of your nose. And now we're walking our way forward, coming into our forward fold at the front of your mat. Taking as many steps as you need. You can always use your props to get there as well. Take an inhale and lengthen part way, long spine. Exhale and fold over your legs. Plant fingertips, you're stepping left foot back into your lunge. Left knee comes down to the ground. As you wrap your right hip back in space, you're helping to center the hips a little bit more, but it also helps your knee turn from the big toe side toward the center of your foot. Now lift up with your heart, and if you want to, you can stretch up, take a big deep breath. Just notice if looking up makes you feel a little bit wobbly, then feel free to take more of a middle gaze or even a downward gaze. Take a big breath. Exhaling, hands come down to the front of your mat. Again, find whatever you have for a prop. Maybe rise up high on it. Lift your back knee and work your front leg towards straight, coming into this hamstring stretch. As you push down with your big toe mound, wrap your right hip back and send sitting bones up. You're trying to stick your butt in the air, trying to unround the low back. Take a big deep breath. Inhale, bend into your front knee, plant hands and step all the way back. One more time, downward facing dog pose. And again, if down dog's a bit much, maybe come to your knees instead. Take a deep breath. Inhale, come forward into your plank pose. You're welcome to use knees on the ground here. And if you do, walk them back behind your hips. So you're still in a plank pose, but a modified one. Take a big deep breath as you rotate elbow pits forward and push. Expand into the upper back. Take one more deep inhale and exhale. Then bring knees down, hips come to your heels, taking a child's pose. And as you take this, your knees can be narrow or wide, your choice. A little movement here through your hips, maybe a little inching of your fingertips forward, full breath. Then inhale, rise to hands and knees. And we're going to step forward into our forward fold. So if you'd like to do that from your downward dog, you can tuck toes and lift your hips. Or from your hands and knees, you can step forward. But make your way forward into your forward fold, taking as many steps as you need to get there. Take an inhale and lengthen part way. Exhale and fold over your legs. Hands to hips. Press back on hips. Start to lift up and open through the shoulders and rise all the way up to stand. And now find feet inner hip distance apart and parallel. Lift and spread your toes and then root them down. Turn your palms forward. Pause for a moment with your eyes closed and tune into what's there for you, for your energy, for any sensations. And now shifting your weight over to your left foot, we're bringing our right knee up toward our chest and holding on to it. So if you'd like to be by a wall here or standing next to a chair or a couch or something, you're welcome to, or a desk. Flex your foot, lift your heart, and then we're going to keep a hold of the right knee with our right hand and open the right knee up to the right side. From this place, we're lifting it up high toward our chest, lifting our chest up high. Give your standing knee a little bend, squeeze your glute and root into the ground. As you maybe reach the left arm to the sky, you get to notice for yourself if a modified version with hand at the hip or maybe standing next to something is better for your energy today. Then maybe moderate that energy a little bit. You decide. Take a full big breath. Inhale, come back into center. And exhale, release the foot back to the ground. Right foot is our balancing point now. Lift the left knee up, squeeze it in for a moment, flex your foot, and lift your chest. Take a full big breath. Keep a little bend to your standing knee, squeeze your standing glute, and open the knee up to the left side. As you open the knee up to the left side, again, remember you can always be standing next to something. You can use something for balance, okay? If you want, you can stretch right arm to the sky, but take that thought into consideration of how much energy you're using, and would it be more beneficial for you to moderate that a little bit with some support? Take one more big breath. Inhale, come back into center. And exhale, release your foot down. Bringing feet to inner hip distance apart and parallel. Lift and spread your toes and root them down. Turn your palms, reach through fingertips. Lift up and open through your shoulders. Take a big breath. Inhale, stretch up overhead. Exhale, bent knees, fold over your legs. Inhale, lengthen part way. Exhale and fold. And now in this fold, you can have your feet inner hip distance, or you can widen them a little bit. You can always bring them out toward the edges of your mat. Knees are bent. If it feels good, you can hold on to opposite elbows, clasp hands behind the back side of your neck, or you can let your arms hang. Any of those are okay. You can also put your hands on props. But take a moment to sway a little side to side. And as you sway a little side to side, notice whatever sensation is there. Notice how it feels to be in this fold. Sometimes forward folds can be energizing. And then as you come back into center, heel toe your feet back in. You're welcome to use props here if you would like to, but step right foot back into your lunge, turn and plant your back heel, and inhale, rise all the way up with your torso into your warrior two, hips facing the right side, bending into the left knee and turning it open a little bit toward the pinky toe edge. Take a big deep breath. And now back hand, your right hand comes to your hip. Lift your left arm straight up, settle deeper into your front knee, and lift up higher through your ribs and your fingertips. Maybe stretch back a little bit here. But try to keep bent and opening with your front knee. Big breath. Inhale, rise all the way back up with your arms, with your torso, and then work your front leg towards straight. Hands come to your hips. Think of your hip crease in your left leg and shift your hips back to create more hip crease. Extend your heart forward and then take your hand down, left hand to thigh, to shin, to a prop, wherever you need to be. It can always be on a chair or a stool. Turn your belly and your heart open to the right side. Shoulder blades are on your back and maybe stretch up. Take a deep breath. Making sure that your legs, even though they're straight, are also a little micro bent if you tend to hyperextend. Inhale, bend into your front knee, plant both hands and step all the way back. Downward facing dog. Take a full breath. Next, inhale, coming forward into your plank. You can always have knees on the ground here. Rotate elbow pits forward and push, expanding into the upper back. And then move your ribs and collarbones more forward, but keep some tone through the core so you're not sinking with the hips. Take one more big inhale. And exhale, keeping your chest moving forward, bend elbows and lower down. Set tops of feet down. Think of shoelace parts of your feet pressing down. Walk your hands back by your rib cage, and then lift it up and open through the shoulders, and reaching back through the triceps. Take a big, deep breath. And inhale, rise up through the heart, rise up through the chest, as high as your body needs to go. Staying broad through the collarbones and the shoulders. Tuck toes, push through hands and knees to down dog or stay on hands and knees. Take a big deep inhale and exhale. And then walk your way forward, coming into your forward fold at the front of your mat. Feet inner hip distance apart or wider. Inhale, lengthen, lift your heart. Exhale, fold over your legs. And if it's comfortable, take your hands to the backs of your calves. You can always have them on props instead. But press forward onto your calves and press back with your calves into your hands, a little resistance. With your knees a little bent, send your sitting bones up. Extend slightly forward with your heart, and then exhale, fold in just a little bit deeper. Plant fingertips now and step left foot back into your lunge. Turn and plant your back heel and inhale, rise all the way up into your warrior two, facing the left side. Knee is opening up toward the pinky toe edge. Your heart is lifting. Reach your arms, take a big deep breath. Stay bent into your front knee. Back hand comes to your hip. Front arm reaches straight up. Keep bending into your front knee and opening it up. Lift up with your heart. Full breath. Maybe stretch back a little bit toward the wall behind you. Maybe stay more straight up, finding that expansion through your front ribs. Stay open with your front knee and rise back up to your warrior two. And now work your front leg toward straight. Key here is to keep the knee rotating from the big toe side toward the pinky toe side. Hips shift back to create that hip crease in your front leg. Extend your heart forward, and then you have your thigh, your shin, or maybe a prop to bring your hand to. Right hand to your prop, left hand to your hip. Turning your belly and your heart open to the left side. Put both shoulder blades on your back. And then maybe stretch up. Deep breath. Top hand back to your hip. Bend into your front knee and plant hands. Tuck your back toes, step back to hands and knees, and then hips to heels, take a child's pose. Full big deep breath. As you take a couple of big breaths here, just notice what energy is present. And then gently use your hands for support to bring yourself upright. Hips to one side, bring your legs off to the front. And as you extend your legs out in front of you, you can have your legs wide, you can have your legs narrow or anywhere in between. Press your heels down, move your sitting bones, and then sit your hips up on something if your low back is rounding back. Otherwise, tilt your pelvis forward towards your legs. And from this place, press your fingertips down behind you or beside you and lift up through your heart. Put your shoulder blades on your back. Take a deep breath, staff pose. And now walk your heels in so your knees are considerably bent. Your feet are flexed, toes are drawing back towards your knees. And press down again. We'll lift up with your heart. Think of tilting your belly towards your legs. And then with hands either at your legs or at the ground beside you, stay long through your front body as you walk your hands down your legs, maybe towards your feet or down the floor towards your feet. Take a big breath wherever that is. Tilt your belly more forward and extend your front. Stay long here through your front body and maybe inch your feet a little further forward. Inhale, belly tilts forward, heart moves forward. Exhale, maybe deepen and round in through your upper back, chin tucks in. Inhale, belly and heart forward, maybe inch your legs all the way out towards straight if that's there for you. Exhale and fold. Inhale, use your hands walking up your legs to rise all the way back up. And then bend your knees, footprints are on the ground, and we're gonna make our way all the way down to our backs. And as you come down onto your backs, be sure that you have all of your props handy. And from this place, knees draw in, and think of this as an upside down version of your child's pose. So you can either have your knees narrow or wide, whichever feels the best, especially for your belly and for that full breath. And then rock a little side to side. And now set footprints on the ground. And we're gonna take a bridge pose, and you get to decide if the energy of a full bridge is a little bit much for you this morning, then feel free to set a prop underneath your hips, okay? So walk your feet in towards your sitting bones, and then push down with your feet. And then tilt your sitting bones down. Low back will lift just a little bit. Press elbows down beside you and inch your shoulder blades toward each other. Then as you're rooting through your elbows and through your feet, start to inhale and lift your hips up. And you can inch your shoulder blades a little closer together here if you would like. You can bring a prop underneath your hips and moderate that use of energy a little bit more if you would like. Reaching through your thighs and knees toward the wall in front of you, hug a little bit as if you were holding onto a prop in between your legs. And take a full breath, deciding for yourself if staying here is right for your body today, or if moderating that energy a little bit is important. Take a big breath. Then on your exhale, you're slowly lowering your hips down to the ground and walking your feet out wide and dropping knees side to side, coming to this windshield wiper action with your legs. And now back into center, and one more time, you get to decide if a little work in bridge pose is right for your body, or if more of a restorative variation is better for you. If you have a prop, it can be a block, it can be a bolster, it can be a folded up blanket, whatever it happens to be, you're welcome to lift your hips and set your hips on your prop, or you can do the same, walk your feet in, press down with feet, tilt your sitting bones, and then press down with elbows, walk your shoulder blades toward each other, and inhale, lift your hips. Your choice. Exhale, hips can always come to rest on something, or you can stay lifted, doing a little bit more work here. Take a full breath wherever that is for you. What is going to give you energy as you leave the mat today? So if you'd like to switch to a prop underneath your hips, you're welcome to. Or you can keep that little bit of work going for a couple more deep breaths. And now, if you have a prop underneath your hips, you're gonna lift your hips. And then everybody gets to set their hips all the way down onto the ground. And now we'll do a little bit of gut compression here. So draw the right knee in toward your chest, left leg extends all the way out. Take a big exhale and draw your knee in even closer. And then inhale, switch sides. And exhale, draw your knee in even closer. Inhale, switch sides. Exhale, knee draws in. And keep going this way with your own breath at your own pace, letting your inhales help you switch and your exhales to help you compress. And now we started on the right side, so take your last one on the left. And then set both feet on the ground, dropping knees in together to touch. And then the last thing that we get to do is choose what kind of pose would be the most helpful and restorative for us for Shavasana. So you can always grab your pillow or bolster and set it underneath your legs. You can set your blanket underneath your neck if you want to. You can set it over you. Find that place where your whole body can settle, release, and let go. And where any work that you've done in your practice can be released. Bring awareness back to your breath. And gently add a little movement into your fingers and into your toes. And now as you're ready to bend your knees and roll to your side. We're moderating the use of our energy here by keeping the hips heavy and using the hands to support you to bring your torso back up. Try not to use any core strength. As you find your way to your seat, connect hands together at heart center. And with eyes closed, take a full breath in and out of the nose. Have a very peaceful and beautiful rest of your day. Namaste. Thanks, everybody.